What's up, everybody? This is Dominic here to talk about today's General Hospital episode, and also to update you guys on why I haven't been doing many videos a lot as of late. Haven't been doing many videos like I have. I don't think. I think the last time I really did a GH video was maybe it might have been a month ago. I don't know. I'm not sure, but as y'all know, it's always a reason as why I disappear a lot. See all these scripts right here? I have like a big stack full of scripts, and I but from like projects I'm doing right now, like plays and like web series I'm auditioning, like TV shows and web series I'm submitting auditions for, and like schools, like acting conservatories and schools I'm auditioning for. I got auditions for, and so I haven't really had too much time to be too much to really do GH videos. And honestly, I hadn't really. I do tend to watch GH every day, at least certain parts of episodes I want to see, but because some of these storylines I really don't too much care about. Um, one of them actually took place today. Um, well, one of the storylines I don't too much care about what was actually showcased today. But anyway, but yeah, let me talk about today's episode. Hadn't really got to talk about much about Rick Lansing actually returning to GH. Hadn't really too much got to talk about him returning. I can't say it's good to see Rick back on GH. I'm gonna start with that. So apparently, Elizabeth was sitting in Kelly's, and she dropped the invitation to Nicholas and Britt's wedding or engagement party, I guess. And I think it's an engagement party, but anyway, and so apparently they're having a party at Windermere. And y'all know something always happens when they have parties at Windermere. When there's a party going on at Windermere, something always happens. So I'm interested in seeing what's gonna happen. Something bad always happens when they have parties and get-togethers at Windermere. Y'all remember the black and white ball and stuff like that? Y'all remember the whole Catherine Bell dying thing back in the '90s and whatnot? So every time there's a party going on in Windermere, there's something always happens. So I'm interested in seeing what they're gonna have happen at this time in Windermere at this party. But anyway, Nicholas was basically inviting Liz to come to the engagement party, and Liz basically sitting there like, why would Britt even want her there? And Nicholas basically says he invited her and whatnot. And I don't know where Rick just pops up, and they tell Rick about it, and Rick basically says basically asked Liz to would he want to go with would could he be her plus one? Could he be her date to the said party and whatnot? And we all know Nicholas, and Nicholas has a couple of snarks that Rick basically says how we all know Rick is kind of a criminal in a way. He's I will say this. Rick has done a lot of bad shit in the past, but who in Port Charles hasn't? But anyway, but yeah, I know he is kind of a psycho. He is kind of a psycho. But y'all remember he did lock Carly in the damn panic room, and was basically about to basically give Carly's baby to give her to Liz, give the baby to Liz. And I think that wasn't it Jocelyn. I think it was Jocelyn if I'm not mistaken. He was gonna give to Liz, basically make Carly, make Carly think the baby was dead and something like that. But anyway, yeah, Rick is a psycho. He is a flat out psycho. But anyway, but yeah, so apparently Liz is gonna go to this party with Rick and whatnot, and Nicholas ain't gonna be too happy about it. But anyway, I also heard Nicholas is gonna get jealous that even though I tell you they're getting the ball rolling for that, Nicholas is gonna be like jealous of Rick and Liz getting together and whatnot. But anyway, what else happened on today's episode? Let me talk about this dumbass story. I'm talking about this dumbass AJ getting shot storyline later. I'm not a big fan of this storyline. But anyway, like I said, like I've said, some storylines I really don't too much care for. Like I said, I think this whole thing is just stupid. Since I brought it up, talk about it now. This storyline is stupid. Personally, it's basically to prop up this mob crap. Which has gotten very tiresome to me. I am not a big fan of mob 24/7 on GH. I'm okay with a little hint of mob business, but I'm not 100%. I'm not a big fan of mob 24/7 on GH. Just like I wasn't a big fan like a couple of years ago. What almost drove the show into the ground with mob 24/7. Because I'm not really 100% here for mob 24/7 on GH. But anyway, but so yeah, apparently Sonny shows up and basically make like he cares about Michael, and basically because you also kind of can tell Sonny is hurting that he basically didn't keep his word to Michael. Like I said, he did not keep his word to Michael. He shot AJ, and you tell he's kind of hurt, beating himself up about it because he promised Michael he wouldn't do anything to AJ, but you see how that turned out. But anyway, and all the Ava, and I'm telling you, one thing that's actually saving this storyline. It seems like Ava Jerome saves every storyline for me. But I will say this: I get getting a little scared for Ava because she's seriously getting a lot of enemies. She's gaining a lot of Ava is seriously gaining a lot of enemies. She's gaining a lot of enemies lately. I mean, pretty soon everybody in Port Charles is gonna basically hate her if they don't already. But anyway, so yeah, Ava's aspect of the show today was basically to she basically goes back to the apartment and whatnot. And she basically and Carlos, I don't know how the hell Carlos got in. Does he have like a key to that apartment or whatnot where Julian and Ava stay at? Does he like have a key to that place? But anyway, Carlos was in there basically asking Ava, did she have anything to do? Did she have anything to do with AJ being shot? But we do know Ava didn't pull the trigger. She originally she intended to. She intended to pull the trigger, but it got stuck. Anyway, excuse me. But yeah, but Carl was basically sitting there asking Ava, did she have anything to do with the shooting and whatnot? Did she shoot AJ? And she basically pleads her innocence and whatnot, and it basically says how they got Julian in jail and whatnot. And I don't know where Julian just pops up. And I'm gonna tell you something about Julian. To me, Julian's just throwing out so many threats out there. Who hasn't this guy threatened? He basically threatened Carlos today. At the end of the episode, he basically told Carlos because Carlos was about to. Well, Ava basically told Carlos to accompany her to the hospital, and Julian basically didn't let him go like Carlos is his child. But anyway, Julian basically tells Carlos, that Ava's making a play against him, and basically Carlos has been knowing this, but anyway, Ava's making a move against him, and Julian basically says Carlos better choose whose side he's on, because Julian always likes to, if he finds that people aren't on his side, he basically likes to cut his losses with people, basically kill them. So this is like really the second time he's threatened Carlos. I mean, Julian's like making so many threats out. I mean, like a couple of weeks ago, he made a threat to make a little he referenced a threat that something might happen to TJ if he doesn't basically don't go to the cops and tell them everything that happened at that warehouse shooting. Basically, I mean, Julian's making a whole bunch of threats nowadays. I mean, and I don't think he's gonna. I honestly don't think he's gonna act on any of them. But he's just basically making a whole bunch of threats. And I'm gonna tell you something. Julian Jerome isn't to me. Julian's kind of a weak mob boss, but he's had lots of opportunities to take out Sonny. I mean, if you were a big badass mob boss, you would every day you wake up, you would basically try to gun down someone. One of he just basically, I mean, since it seems like Sonny's always walking around without any kind of bodyguard around him, Julian could basically just out of nowhere come up and just pull the trigger on Sonny. If he was a badass mob boss, I mean, he would have already done that. But anyway, but yeah, speaking of mob, they need to do something else with Sean Butler. They seriously need to do something else with Sean Butler. Because he had scenes with Rick today. Rick basically was just asking Sean, because y'all know Sean also works at Kelly's, was asking Sean to basically to give him, can he have a cup of coffee? And Sean basically turns around and says, when Rick said, buddy, can I get a cup of coffee? And Sean basically was like, I'm not your buddy. I know exactly who you are, Rick. I work for your brother. I'm like, Sean, that really wasn't really too terrifying at all. I'm like, okay, you work for his brother. I'm like, you must think you Jason Morgan or something. But they seriously, and Sean Butler needs to get a love interest. They seriously need to bring someone on and I'm hearing they're doing that. I'm hearing they're gonna do. I'm gonna tell you the rumor is. What the rumor is? The rumor is they're bringing on TJ's mom, and I actually heard she's supposed to start. She's supposed to air on the 14th, which is Friday, the same day Donna Mills is supposed to air. Which we all know she was the one that was watching Silas and Kiki and all of them today. I'll get on that dumbass shit in a minute. That's another storyline I'm sick of. I'm not really here for. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, they need to find something to do with Sean Butler. I'm not really 100% into him basically being this mob enforcer, being this mobster and whatnot. I'm not. And speaking of being in the mob, Alexis. I'm gonna get on Alexis right quick. Alexis is the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen. Didn't she break up with Sean just because he's in the mob and he chose to be in the mob over her? But she's all swooning and mooning over Julian, and he's like a mob kingpin. He's a mob boss. Sean's just a mob enforcer. Julian's a mob boss. I mean, somebody seriously should call. And I believe yesterday Molly kind of did call Alexis out on her hypocrisy, because she basically yesterday. I'm not trying to backtrack and see what happened on yesterday, but I gotta prove a point. Molly basically told Alexis that, because we all know Molly wants to live with Rick, wants to move in with Rick, and Alexis basically says Rick basically hangs around and represents a lot of bad people, and Molly's basically like, don't you represent Sonny? I mean, Sonny ain't no worse than any of these other people that Rick represents and Rick hangs around with. And she basically, in a way, kind of called her out on her being a hypocrite. Now, but I seriously want somebody to seriously just call Alexis out on her, basically call her out, and basically call her a hypocrite. And I'm saying it needs to be like, I think it kind of needs to be either Sean or Rick basically should basically call her out on being a hypocrite. I mean, because you basically got rid of, like I said, she broke up with Sean because she broke up with Sean because he was in the mob, but she's all swooning and mooning and slobbing down Julian and whatnot. So, but like I said, somebody should call her out on that. But I actually did like the scene between Alexis and Sam today. Sam found out that Rick is back in town, which I'm ready for Sam and Rick to have some scenes together. And I hope Molly doesn't know about what Sam and Rick did back in the day. We all know Molly loves her sister Sam and whatnot, and I want them to show Molly like seriously getting to know Rick, wanting to get to know Rick, and I want them to Molly to find out why Alexis and Rick aren't married anymore, because she screwed Sam, because Sam screwed Rick. But anyway, but yeah, like it was good to see Sam in scenes. I'm not here for this damn what Sam was talking about. I'm not here for this damn Nina Clay stuff. We all know Donna Mills is probably, I don't know for sure, but Donna Mills is probably gonna be involved in that storyline. And we all know that probably was her watching Silas and Kiki today. Silas and Kiki had some scenes today basically talking about Michael and AJ and whatnot, and Kiki wanted to know she wanted to know basically what went down in New York, and Silas basically told her that he believes Ava had something to do with Nina Clay's body being moved and whatnot, and also she had something to do with Nina Clay dying. Well, basically being poisoned and getting an overdose and whatnot. But anyway, like I said, I'm sick of this storyline. I'm not really here for this storyline. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm not really here for this storyline. Never was. I'm not a big Silas and Sam fan anyway. If you're a fan of Silas and Sam, hey, that's you. But anyway, that's really all I got for today's episode. Today's episode was actually pretty decent. But anyway, let me know how you guys feel about today's episode. Leave me a comment below, and I'll try to get back at you. This is Dominic checking out. Peace, God bless, and I'm out.